This video is sponsored by Cohen Financial. More on them later.
If you don't have a target buyer, when the music stops, you're not going to find yourself a chair.
Welcome to the channel where I review and critique every single family home that comes on the market in Beverly Hills in about 5 minutes. In today's episode, we are reviewing 1029 Hanover Drive, Beverly Hills, north of Sunset, listed for $27.5 million. Now, you know the drill. In the first 2 minutes, I critique the property on my 10 qualities of value. And after that, I'll tell you guys how I would have marketed this property differently. And then at the end of the video, I will share with you guys my favorite comp for valuation purposes. How do I know all this stuff? I'm 𝐷𝐼𝐹, a Beverly Hills real estate agent by day, a real estate critic and consultant by night. You got that? Now that we got that out of the way, let's get down to it. Location, Beverly Hills, north of Sunset, it's a 10. Lot quality, to my eye, it's about 15,000 square foot flat, but it's in two different elevation, triangular in shape, which is pretty odd. I have to give it a 6. Lot orientation, southwest facing, against the hill, on a very quiet street, but it's on the wrong side of the road. I have to give it another 6. Lot utilization, private driveway, but it looks really narrow and tight, very tight frontage, super small backyard. The pool is in the front yard, but then it has a tennis court on the side yard, on a lower elevation. How the hell am I going to score this? I'm just going to give it a 4. Privacy, no one can look into the property, but you have pretty good setbacks with the neighbors, so I don't even think they can hear you. But then your swimming pool is kind of in the front of the property. I'm going to give it a 9. Views, it's not a view property, so I'm going to give it a 0. Scale and architectural style. Architecturally, it's modern transitional. They went very safe. Scale is there, good ceiling heights, but the dimensions of the main living spaces look like more like a $6 million house. I'm going to give it a 6. Layout, no wow factor when you walk in. It feels like a long house, but then there's good indoor-outdoor connectivity, right amount of bedrooms in the right places. I'm going to give it a 5. Finishes, look, they're average at best for the high end. And I understand why they didn't go all out, because I don't think that lot can deliver. I'm going to explain this more in later on in the video. I'm going to give it a 6. Upside, it doesn't make sense to add square footage or update the finishes because it's brand new. And at these prices, it doesn't make sense to rent it short-term or long-term because the ROI is just not going to be there. And for those reasons, I'm going to give it a 3. Now, before I tell you the final score, a word from our sponsor, Cohen Financial. Do you know why I use Mark Cohen for my own mortgages? No, it's not because he's the most successful. Yes, he's originated $10 billion worth of loan in the last 10 years, which is great. It's unheard of, but good for him. What I care for is the fact that he doesn't bullshit me. Over the first phone conversation when I call him, he tells me immediately the best available rate in the market for the product that I'm looking for. And when he doesn't have it, he makes an introduction to the bank that it does. I respect that. He always delivers on his promises. Here's his phone number. Give him a call. And also don't forget to thank him for supporting your favorite channel. Okay, the final score is a 55, and that's an E. Now you're thinking, Arvin, how would have you marketed this property differently? Staging. Staging is beyond bad. You really have to compare this staging with other properties of the same caliber to understand how bad it is. And they went traditional instead of going modern, and the arrangement is poor. I mean, if I would take the furniture from my grandma's house and replace it over here, you wouldn't have noticed. And I'm telling you, that would be the first thing I would have done. I would have taken all this garbage out and furnished it and staged it brand new, make it look up to par to this caliber of property, and it would certainly help to sell this property. Okay, you're probably wondering, even with the perfect staging, how much is this property really going to be worth? I will tell you guys my favorite comp for valuation purposes, but I first have to declare something. I love it when developers pull a rabbit out of the hat. They buy a subpar lot for cheap and then turn it into an imperfect home, which is perfect for a certain demographic. That is where the biggest margins are in development, when they turn nothing to everything. But if you get it wrong, your hand is gonna get stuck in that hat and you'll be lucky to pull a hamster. Let's study this case, for example. They made 2 mistakes. First, they paid way too much when they purchased this property. In 2014, they paid $8.5 million, and it wasn't a tear down. It was a fixer, but they decided to tear it down, and it was an uphill battle from right there. But then I don't think they had a buyer in their mind when they designed this property, because I can't see this property going to an elder person because there are way too many stairs. I don't see it going to a bachelor because I don't know that many bachelors who would want to pay $27 or originally $43 million for a non-view property in Beverly Hills, north of Sunset. And I can't see families really being crazy about this house because the backyard is really small. And for those two reasons, I think they're in a little bit of trouble, to say the least. My favorite comp for valuation purposes is 1087 Merlin Drive, and I will tell you guys why. They're very similar location and similar in size. They're both against the mountain on the wrong side of the street. However, the 1087 Merlin Drive was a perfect home for a family, and it sold very, very quickly for $22.5 million. Now, you really need the help of an expert to take this comp and adjust to get to the price so you don't overpay for the property. And it's never a bad idea to contact the listing agents. Here's their information. Contact them, ask them your questions. And if you want my expertise, here's my information, arvin@arvinhadad.com. Now, if you like this property, you will also probably like this property. They're kind of similar. And I also have to share with you, the content of this video is purely my personal opinion. Real estate analysis is subjective in nature, and I don't guarantee the accuracy of information. In fact, you should go see the property yourself in person. You should review all the information available online. You should contact the city and form your own independent decisions. Now, if you like this video, please like or comment and tell me how I can make my videos better. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.